السيرة النبوية. Biography of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Episode 1. The Arabs before Islam. Part 2. In the first part of the first episode, we shed light on the land of Arabs and its most famous cities and fortresses. The Arab historians have divided the Arabs into three parts. The extinct Arabs, having no living members, no longer in existence. The Arabized and Arabist. For the Arabs who disappeared, they are the first Arabs, those whose news details have gone away from us because their time is old and their news is interrupted, like Thamud and Tasim and Jeddis and jorhom I. Ad used to live in Ahqaf of sand between Yemen and Oman to Hadramout and Shahr, and when they worshipped idols, God destroyed them. As for Thamud, their homes were in alhijr and wadi kora between the Hijaz and the Levant. They were carving their houses in the mountains. They were people of strength and disbelief. God destroyed them, and many news about them were mentioned in the Quran. As for Jeddis, their homes were in Yamama. As for jorhom, the first houses were in Yemen. They spoke Hebrew. They had lived in the era of Ad and were lost from the land. As for the second jorhom, they are from the son of Kahtan. Ismail, son of Abraham, peace be upon him, were in contact with them. The homes of Bani Kahtan were in the Hijaz, and when Abraham wanted that his son resides in Mecca for a considerable time, Ismail grew up among them, get married from there, and his children are called the Arabist Arabs. As it is known, the origin of Ismail and his tongue was Hebrew, and that is why he and his father became Arabist Arabs. The Arabized Arabs are the Banu Sheba, and the name of Sheba is Abdu Shams, as we mentioned before. The people of Sheba and the queen of Sheba, Bilqis, were mentioned in the Holy Quran. They worshipped the sun. The story of Solomon, the prophet of God, and the queen of Sheba is very famous in this section. As for belief in ignorance time or in pre-Islamic era, the Arabs were a variety of categories. Some of them denied the Creator and the resurrection, as God told about them in His book. There is nothing but one present life. We die and we live, and nothing destroys us except time. A class recognized the existence of God and denied the resurrection, and this came in the Quran when the Almighty said, "Were we fatigued by the first creation, but they are in doubt of a new creation." A class worshipped idols, and each tribe has its own idol. Wood is for Karb in Dawmat il-Jandal. Suwa is for Hadir. Yaghut and Yauk for the tribes of Yemen. Nasr or eagle is for Dilkila in the land of Himyar. Yauk for Hamadan. Allat for Taqif in Taif. Al-Uzza for Quraysh and Bani Kinana. Manat for Aus and Khazraj. And Hubal, the greatest idol, was over the Kaaba. Isaf and Naila between Safa and Marwa. Among them, those who convert to Judaism and those who convert to Christianity, and some of them are Sabi'a, or the eclectic ones. They take from all religions and sometimes they take nothing. Amid them who worshipped angels, and some of them worshipped the jinn, and their sciences were the sciences of genealogy and the meteorology, history and interpretation of dreams. They did not get married to mothers and daughters, and it was the ugliest thing they had, and it is known that Islam is also forbidden that. They were not combining between the two sisters, even though this phenomenon was common in many tribes. They were blaming the man who married his brother's wife and they call him a Daysan. They perform pilgrimage, perform umrah, circumambulate, strive and throw stones. They take a bath from impurity, but all of this is not without rituals of ignorance. And as for kings of Tababi'a, they are Banu Himyar, and they were called a Tababi'a because they follow each other. Whenever one of them dies, the other takes his place and follows his approach. The king does not deserve to be from a Tababi'a until he took possession of Yemen, Shahr, and Hadramout. The word Tubba, or the follower, is mentioned in the Holy Quran, and they are still in pursuit of ruling the country until the king Dinawas came in the year 480, and his name was Zar'a. When he was victorious, he controlled the property of his forefathers. He called himself Joseph and became intolerant of the Judaism religion. He made a grove and set fire in it and burned everyone who did not convert. He was called the owner of the grove, and the story was mentioned in the Quran. And this is a short summary about Arabs before Islam and before the message of the Prophet, peace be upon him.